I'm going to try real hard to talk fast and get this voiceover in. So I'm taking a small yellow onion and just slicing it up. I'm using the whole thing for this because, as you'll see, I'm making like an onion jam type of thing. I lightly oiled the pan, which you can't really tell from this, but I put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and then I'm just going to separate all the onions and drop them all over the stove, apparently. But I just separate all the onions. You don't really have to separate them. I just find it easier when you start stirring them around in the pan, and they cook more evenly if you just separate them all. So that's what I'm doing here, separating all the onions and starting to saute them and get them soft. And I left in way too long of a clip for this, but you get the idea. Okay, while the onions are cooking, I'm starting the burgers. Normally I would make my own, but I had these that we just recently got to try. They're just frozen smashed burgers from, what did it say, Holton's Chop House. They're actually really good. I had never had these before. I had never even heard of them before. They look pretty big when I take them out of the package here, but you'll see that they shrink down a significant amount when you cook them. But again, I sprayed just a little bit of olive oil cooking spray in the pan first. These were kind of difficult to get the paper off, and for some reason there wasn't paper separating these two patties, so it's usually easier when there's paper in between every one, but that's what I'm doing, is just separating the paper, throwing the burgers in here. It was a bit of a time saver because my husband was on his way home when I was making dinner here. It was a little bit quicker than making my own hamburger patties. Now, while the burgers are starting to cook, I'm going to take some balsamic vinegar and add that to the onions. Now, I make this so often that I don't measure anything anymore, but it's about 1/4 cup. You just want enough to cook the onions, and then it's going to reduce a little bit while the onions cook in it and soften up even more. And I was explaining that here, but then I decided the audio sucked with the oven going and everything, so I wanted to do a voiceover instead. That's why you can see me talking with my hands. Then I'm going to go off to the side here and start making the garlic mayo for the buns and stuff. So again, I didn't really measure here, but I usually do a few tablespoons of mayonnaise. And I tend to make extra because we dip our french fries in here too, so... Oh, Aiden, don't hiccup near me while I'm trying to do this. So it's basically just mayo, garlic. This is jarred garlic, so you can be as liberal as you want with this because it's not as strong as if I were chopping up fresh garlic cloves, but about a tablespoon, I guess, of garlic. It's all to your personal preference, and this, like I said, this is something I make so often that I just kind of throw it all together, so I really don't measure anything anymore, and then I just add a bunch of pepper to it because that makes it taste really good. Oh, and a little bit of salt too. I forget I usually add salt to it. Stir it around, and then you're just going to set that to the side because you'll use this at the very end because it goes on the hamburger buns. Now we're going back to the onions. Once you can see that the vinegar has reduced down, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of sugar. Again, this is to your own personal preference, but I like a good mix of like the tang of the vinegar in with the sweetness of the sugar. So the sugar is going to help it become more of like a jammy consistency. And I'm also, you're going to see me in a minute, add some more vinegar to it because I wasn't liking how dry it looked. So another few tablespoons, I would say, of vinegar because it all reduces and it gets nice and thick at the end. especially now that I've added the sugar. Now I'm just flipping the burgers. As you can see, they have shrunk down quite a bit, but my husband and I both like very well done, not any pink in the middle hamburgers. I'm very lucky that I found someone that likes their meat cooked like I do, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's too dry. Again, cook your hamburger to the way that you like it, but I like very well done. Then I'm just taking some shredded cheese. We love cheese in this house. I like to use mozzarella, but I didn't have any, so this is just the Fiesta blend of several different cheeses. I like all kinds of cheese, so honestly it doesn't matter to me what kind goes on here, but then I took it off the heat and then I covered it. So the burgers were done, I put the cheese on, and then I covered it to let it melt, because the residual heat from inside there is just going to melt the cheese anyway. Now I'm grabbing hamburger buns. I'm going to put a little bit of that garlic mayo on each side, and then just kind of spread it around. And then I'm going to take the hamburger patty with the melted cheese and put that on one of the buns, well, the bottom bun. There it is. So you can definitely tell how much it shrank. And then on top of the cheese is gonna be the onion jam stuff. It looks burnt, and I promise you it's not. That's just the balsamic vinegar gets almost black when it's all reduced and cooked down like that. So then you're just gonna top it off with the top bun. I made some fries in the air fryer, so you're gonna see me throw those on the plate pretty soon. But you can have whatever side you want with this, whatever you, I just spilled them everywhere. Whatever you normally have with burgers. Sometimes I just do like a side salad, but I felt like fries on this night. So there it is. It is one of the tastiest burgers ever. I promise you should try it, and let me know if you try it out, and I'll talk to you next time.